Michigan Man MTG, and today we're looking at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards that appeared in Lorwyn Eclipsed Pre-release kits. And Wizards of the Coast released all those cards officially late last week, and I want to go through each of the cards, and rather than try to rank order them or anything like that, I'm just going to go through them by color, and we'll do a video for each color. So here's our video for white. So first we've got Agent Bishop, mana in black for 2 and a white mana. You get a legendary creature that's a human soldier and a 1/2. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So very powerful ability here. We've seen cards like this see play throughout Magic's history in white and then sometimes in other colors. But the thing I really like about Agent Bishop is you get to put it on 2 creatures. Now, normally it's just 1. The fact that it's 2 every single combat, I think makes this a very powerful card in Standard and in other formats. Next, we've got Leader's Talent for 1 and a white mana. You get an enchantment that's a class, and when you attack on level 1, you put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. So nice ability, kind of Innkeeper's Talent in white. And you can level it up to level 2 for 2 and a white mana. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter on it, you gain 2 life. And you can level it up to level 3 for 3 and a white mana. Whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So I think this has definitely a chance to see play in Standard, particularly in any kind of go wide strategy where we care about counters. So I think this is going to be an interesting card, particularly potentially in any Badger Mole Cub decks that we see that would be in Selesnya colors, because it won't be difficult to level it up to level 3 given the mana that's available. And when you do that, every time you cast a spell, you're going to be going ahead and giving a +1/+1 counter to every creature you have and just growing your team. And one of the downsides of the Badger Mole Cub decks is they tend to have a lot of small creatures because we're looking at having a lot of mana dorks, and then we rely on the Ouroboros to kind of boost everything. Well, this is just another way of doing that. I think that has enough power level to it to see some play in Standard. Next, we've got Leonardo, Cutting Edge for 1 and a white mana. You get a legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's a 1/1 with Sneak for a white mana. And the Sneak ability means you may cast this spell for 1 white if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during the Declare Blocker step. He enters tapped and attacking. So Sneak is ninjutsu from the Kamigawa set, and same ability, and now we've got some more Ninja Turtles, which actually helps Kaido quite a bit with giving him some more support in Standard. And Leonardo has lifelink, and whenever you gain life, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo. So you sneak him into play, you're going to go ahead and gain life when he hits your opponent, so it's a 2/2 for 2, or potentially a 2/2 for 1 mana, which I think is very playable in Standard. Next, we've got Leonardo's Technique for 3 and a white mana. You get a sorcery with Sneak for 1 and a white mana. Return 1 or 2 target creature cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So Leonardo's Technique, I have a feeling this is going to be a sneaky good card in Standard, because again, you can sneak it in for 2 mana, and now you're returning 2 creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield. They're not attacking, but I think the ability to get 2 creatures back for 2 mana, I think is good enough to see some Standard play. Next, we have Prehistoric Pet for a white mana. You get a Dinosaur Ninja, that's a 1/2, and this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And for 1 and a white mana, you can return another target creature you control to its owner's hand, activate during your turn. So you can do this at instant speed, so maybe you are dealing with a blocking situation where you've got an unfavorable block in place, and you can then use Prehistoric Pet to take that back. But I don't know if that's going to be valuable enough outside of limited to see Standard play. Next, we've got Sally Pride, Lioness Leader for 3 and 2 white mana. You get a legendary creature that's a cat mutant rebel and a 2/4. When Sally Pride enters, create X 2/2 red mutant creature tokens, where X is a number of non-token creatures you control. And whenever Sally Pride attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So Sally's an incredibly powerful creature for 5 mana. You're going to be able to create probably a pretty decent size, team when you cast her. So I think this, in the right build, will have some standard playability. It's probably not going to be a 4 of in a deck, but maybe a couple copies of this in a go wide strategy makes some sense in standard. Next, we've got Triceraton Commander for XX and 2 white mana. You get a Dinosaur Soldier. That's a 2/2 with flying. And when this creature attacks, dinosaurs you control other than this creature get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. And when this creature enters, create X2/2 white Dinosaur Soldier creature token. So the XX, so for each 2 mana you put into it, you get to create a 2/2 white Dinosaur Soldier creature token. So again, this is one of those weird cards that I think if you have a lot of mana, then this makes a lot of sense in decks. But I'm not sold on this for standard. And the fact that it only affects the dinosaurs that you have, I think, is going to limit it somewhat in standard. Next, we've got Turncoat Kunoichi for 2 and a white mana. You get a Mutant Ninja Fox, and is a 3/2 with Sneak. And the Sneak cost here is 2, a white, and a black mana. And again, you have to return a creature to your hand when you sneak it into play. And when this creature enters, choose target creature an opponent controls, exile that creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. If this creature's sneak cost was paid, instead exile the chosen creature. So I think the ability to exile something for 4 mana and get a body is certainly standard playable. And the fact that you could just play it and exile one of their creatures, I think, is fine. But the ability to just exile if you, in essence, sneak it into play, I think gives it some legs in standard. All right, those were our white cards from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles previews. And we'll next look at the blue cards from the set.